School is proud to present its very own musical adaptation of an extract from George Bernard Shaw's 1912 play, Pygmalion. It has been adapted into a globally acclaimed movie, My Fair Lady, and also a very popular Bengali cinema, Ogo Bodho Shundari. Shaw's story, simply stated, portrays an expert linguist who accepts the challenge to recreate a poor, uneducated young woman by teaching her how to speak English flawlessly. Much like the ideals of Young Horizon School, where we, the students, are always striving to excel our proficiency in English under the able guidance of our teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, proudly presenting to you my lovely lady.
Blimey, this rain!
No cab inside.
Oh, when will it stop pouring? Oh, this sudden rain. This rain. Where are we dashed?
Oh, Freddy! Oh, dear! Oh, rain! How will we go home, Mother? I'm getting chilled to the bones. What can Freddy be doing all this time? He's been gone 20 minutes. Not so long, but he ought to have got us a cab by this.
He won't get no cab. Not until 11:30, missus. When they come back after dropping the theatre fares.
But we must have a cab. We can't stand here until 11:30. It's too bad.
Well, it ain't my fault, missus.
If Freddy had a bit of gumption, he would have got one at the theatre door. What could he have done, poor boy? Other people got cabs. Why couldn't he? Well, haven't you got a cab?
There's not one to be had for love or money.
Oh, Freddy, there must be one. You can't have tried. It's too tiresome. Do you expect us to go and get one ourselves?
I tell you, they're all engaged. The rain was so sudden. Nobody was prepared. And everybody had to take a cab. I've been to Charing Cross one way and nearly to Ludgate Circus the other. And they were all engaged.
Did you try Trafalgar Square?
There wasn't one at Trafalgar Square.
Did you try?
I tried as far as Charing Cross Station. Did you expect me to walk to Hammersmith?
You haven't tried at all. You really are very helpless, Freddy. Go again and don't come back until you have found a cab.
I shall simply get soaked for nothing.
And what about us? Are we to stay here all night in this draft with next to nothing on? You selfish pig.
Oh, very well, I'll go.
Now then,
Sorry.
Freddy, look where you're going, dear. Look where you're going. There's manners for you. You bunches of violets trod into the mud. How do you know that my son's name is Freddy? Pray? How? He's your son. Is he? Well, if you'd done your duty as a mother should, he'd known better than to spoil a poor girl's flower and run away without buying. Will you buy for them? Do nothing of the sort, Mother. Please allow me, Clara. Have you any change? Now, this is for your fly. Thank you, kindly lady. Now tell me, how do you know the young gentleman's name? I did. I heard you call him by it. Don't try to deceive me. No. Who's trying to deceive you? I call him Freddy or Charlie, same as you might yourself. be pleasant. Sixpence thrown away? Really, Mama, you might have spared Freddy that.
Phew.
Oh, sir, is there any sign of it stopping?
I'm afraid not. It started worse than ever about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, dear. If it's worse, it's a sign. It's nearly over. So cheer up, Kaiti, and buy a flower for poor girl.
I'm sorry, I haven't any change.
Huh? I can give you change, Kaiti.
For a sovereign, I'm nothing less.
God. How'd you buy a flower of me, Kaiti? I can change half a crown. Take this for 2 pence.
Now don't be troublesome, there's a good girl. Really, I haven't any change. Stop. Here's 3 pence, if that's any use to you.
Thank you, Kaitin.
You be careful. There's a bloke here behind. Writing down every blessed word you say.
But I ain't done nothing wrong by speaking to the gentleman. I've the right to sell flowers if I keep on the cup. Help me, I never spoke to him except to ask him to buy a flower of me.
Don't start hollering.
Who's hurting you?
Nobody's going to touch you.
What's the good of fussing?
Steady on. Easy, easy.
What's the row?
What'd she do?
Where is he?
Taking her down.
What? Him? Yes, him over there. Took money of the gentleman.
Oh, sir, don't let him lay a charge against me. You don't know what it means to me. They'll take away my character and they'll drive me.
There. Who's hurting you, you silly girl? What do you take me for?
It's all right. He's the gentleman. Look at his boots. She thought you were a copper's knock, sir.
Oh, what's a copper's knock?
It's a copper's knock. As you might say, what else would you call it? A sort of informer?
I take my Bible off. I never said a word.
Oh, shut up. Do I look like a policeman?
Then what did you take down my words for? How do I know that you took me down right? You just show me what you wrote about me. What's that? That ain't proper writing. I can't read that.
I can. Cheer up, Captain, and buy a flower for poor girl.
It's just because I called him Kaiten. Oh man, no, I'm out. Don't let him lay a charge against me for a word like that.
Charge? I make no charge. Really, sir, if you are a detective, you need not begin protecting me against molestation by young women until I ask you. Anybody could see that the girl meant no harm.
Oh, of course they could. What business is it of yours? Taking down people's words.
Girl never said a word to him. What harm is she did?
Oh!
A woman who utters such depressing and disgusting sounds has no right to be anywhere, no right to live. Remember, you are a human being with a soul and the divine gift of articulate speech. That your native language is the language of Shakespeare, Milton, and the Bible. You don't sit there crooning like a bilious pigeon. Ah, look at her, prisoner of the gutter, condemned by every syllable she utters. By right, she should be taken out and hung for the cold-blooded murder of the English tongue. Oh, heavens, what a sound. This is what the British population calls an elementary education.
I suppose you picked up a poor example, sir.
Did I? Hear them down in Soho Square, dropping H's everywhere, speaking English any way they like. You, sir, did you go to school?
What do you take me? For a fool?
Well, no one taught him take instead of type. Hear Yorkshiremen, or worse, hear a Cornishman converse, or rather hear a choir singing flat. Chickens cackling in the barn, just like this one. Gone. I ask you, sir, what sort of word is that? It's how and gone that keep her in her place, not her wretched clothes or dirty face. Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? This verbal class distinction by now should be antique. If you spoke as she does, sir, instead of the way you do, while you might be selling flowers too.
I beg your pardon?
An Englishman's way of speaking absolutely classifies him. The moment he talks, he makes some other Englishman despise him. Hugh's common English are regarded as a freak. Why can't the English learn to set a good example to people whose English is painful to your ears? The Scotch and the Irish leave you close to tears. There even are places where English completely disappears. Well, in America, they haven't used it for years. Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? Norwegians learn Norwegians, the Greeks are taught their Greek. In France, every Frenchman knows his language from A to Z. The French don't care what they do, actually, as long as they pronounce it correctly. Arabians learn Arabians in the speed of summer lightning. The Hebrews learn it backwards, which is absolutely frightening. Use proper English, you're regarded as a freak. Why can't the English learn to speak?
God.
You see this creature with a curbstone English? The English that can keep her in the gutter to the end of her days. Well, sir, in 3 months, I could pass this girl off as Duchess at an ambassador's garden party. I could even get her a place as a lady's maid or a shop assistant, which requires better English.
May I ask you, sir, do you do this for a living?
Simply phonetics, the science of speech. You see, that's my profession and also my hobby.
I am myself a student of Indian dialects.
Are you? Do you know Colonel Pickering, the author of Spoken Sanskrit?
I am Colonel Pickering. Who are you?
Henry Higgins, the author of Higgins' Universal Alphabet.
I came from India to meet you.
I was going to India to meet you.
Where do you live?
27A Wimple Street. Come and see me tomorrow.
Buy another flower, kind gentleman. I'm shut from my lodging.
I'm really sorry, poor girl. I haven't any change.
Liar. You said you could change half a crown.
You ought to be stuffed with nails, you ought. Tie the whole blooming basket for 6 pence.
A reminder.
How many words?
Indian dialects, of course.
Got one at last. Hello? Where are the two ladies that were here?
How? They walked to the bus when the rain stopped.
And they left me with a cab on my hands? Damnation! Well, I am dashed.
Well, never you mind, young man. And I am going home in a taxi.
Wouldn't it be lovely? All I want is to be somewhere rich man's mind.
Well, I think that's the whole show, Pickering.
It's really amazing. I really haven't taken half of it in, you know.
A young woman wants to see you.
A young woman? What does she want?
Well, sir, she says you will be glad to see her when you know what she's come about. She's quite a common girl, sir. Very common indeed. I should have sent her away, only I thought perhaps you wanted her to talk into your machines. You'll excuse me, I'm sure, sir.
That's all right, Mrs. Pierce. Has she an interesting accent?
Oh, something dreadful. Really, I don't know how you can take an interest in it.
Good, let's have her up. Show her up, Mrs. Pierce.
Very well, sir. It's for you to say.
This is rather a bit of luck, Pickering. I'll show you how I make records. We'll set the girl on the phonograph and then you can turn her on as often you like with the written transcript before you.
This is the young woman, sir.
Why? This is the girl I jotted down last night. She's no use. I've got all records of the Listen Grove lingo that I want, and I'm not going to waste another minute on her. Be off with the woman, I don't want you.
How? Don't you be so sousy. You ain't heard what I come for yet. Did you tell him I come in a taxi?
Nonsense, girl. Do you think a gentleman like Mr. Higgins cares where you came in?
Ah, we are proud. He ain't above giving lessons, not him. I heard him say so. Well, I'm not come here to ask for any compliment, and if my money is not good enough, I can go elsewhere.
Good enough? Good enough for what?
Good enough for you. Now you know, don't you? I'm come to have lessons, I am. I'm to pay for them too. Make no mistake.
Well, what do you expect me to say?
Well, if you was a gentleman, you might ask me to sit down, I think. Don't I tell you I'm bringing you business?
Pickering, shall we ask this baggage to sit down, or shall we throw her out of the window?
I won't be called a baggage when I offer to pay like any lady.
What is it you want, my girl?
I want to be a lady in a flower shop instead of selling at the corner of the Tottenham Court Road. But they won't take me unless I can talk more genteel. Easy to teach me. Well, here I am, ready to pay him, not asking for any favor, and he treats me as if I was done.
How can you be such a foolish, ignorant girl as to think you could afford to pay Mr. Higgins?
Why shouldn't I? I know what lessons cost as well as you do, and I'm ready to pay.
How much?
Now you're talking. I thought you'd come off it when you saw a chance of getting back a bit of what you chucked at me last night. You'd have a drop in, hadn't you?
Sit down.
Only if you're going to make a comment.
Sit down!
Sit down, girl. Do as you're told.
Won't you sit down?
Don't mind if I do.
What's your name?
Liza Judith.
Eliza, Elizabeth, Betsy, and Bess. They went to the woods to get a bird's nest.
They found a nest with 4 eggs in it.
They took one apiece and left 3 in it.
Oh, don't you be so silly.
Shh! You mustn't speak to the gentleman like that.
Well, why mustn't he speak sensible to me?
Let's get back to business. Now, how much do you propose to pay me for the lessons?
How? I know what's right. I won't give you more than a shilling. Take it or leave it.
You know, Pickering, if you consider a shilling not as a simple shilling, but as a percentage of this girl's income, it works out fully equivalent to 60 or 70 guineas from a millionaire.
How so?
Figure it out. A millionaire earns about £150 a day. This girl earns about half a crown.
I told you I only earn about...
She offers me 2/5 of a day's income. Well, 2/5 of a day's income for a millionaire would be somewhere about £50. It's handsome. By George, it's enormous. It's the greatest offer I ever had.
I never offered you 60 pounds. What are you talking about?
Hold your tongue.
Where would I get?
Don't cry, you girl. Sit down. Nobody's going to touch your money.
But somebody's going to touch you with a broomstick if you don't stop sniveling. Sit down!
One would think you as my father.
If I decide to teach you, I'd be worse than 2 fathers to you. Here,
What's this for?
to wipe your eyes, to wipe any part of your face that feels moist. Remember, that's your handkerchief and that's your sleeve. Don't mistake the one for the other if you want to become a lady in a flower shop.
It's no use talking to her like that, Mr. Higgins. She doesn't understand you. Besides, you're quite wrong. She doesn't do it in that way at all.
Sure, you gave me the handkerchief. He gave it to me, not to you.
He did. I think it must be regarded as her property, Mrs. Pierce.
Serve you right, Mr. Higgins?
Higgins, I'm interested. I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive to make that good. I'll bet you all the expenses of the experiment, you can't do it. And I'll pay for the lessons.
Ah, you are real good. Thank you, Kaiten.
This is irresistible. She's so deliciously low, so horribly dirty.
Oh, I ain't dirty. I washed myself before I come, I did.
You're certainly not going to turn ahead with flattery, Higgins.
Oh, don't say that, sir. There's more ways than one of turning a girl's head, and nobody can do it better than Mr. Higgins. Though he may not always mean it, I do hope, sir, that you won't encourage him to do anything foolish.
What is life but a series of inspired follies? The difficulty is to find them to do. I'll take it. I'll make duchess of this draggle-tailed gutter snipe. Mrs. Pierce, is there a good fire in the kitchen? Well, take all her clothes off and burn them. Ring up Whiteleaf for some new ones, and until they come, just wrap her up in brown paper.
Oh, you are no gentleman, you're not. To talk of such things, I'm a good girl, I am. And I know what the like of you are, I do.
We want none of your listen grove prudery here, woman. Learn to behave like duchess. Mrs. Pierce, take her away.